Okay, let me ask you something. Can masturbation actually help with erectile dysfunction? I know, sounds crazy, right? Like, shouldn't you be doing less of that, not more? But here is what most men don't realize. In most cases of ED, especially when it's caused by stress, anxiety, or performance pressure, masturbation can actually be the solution. But only if you do it the right way. Let me explain what I mean. If you're struggling with ED, you're anxious when you're in bed with your partner. And that anxiety makes you feel less confident, less powerful in your sexuality, which creates even more stress. And then what do? You masturbate to release that stress, usually to porn. And that cycle just keeps going. But what if you could break that cycle? What if you could use masturbation not as a quick stress release, but as a tool to actually rebuild your confidence, reduce anxiety, and strengthen your erections? That's exactly what I'm going to show you today. How to use masturbation the right way so you can show up differently in the bedroom and in your life. I'm Magda Kay, an intimacy expert, and every week I share videos to help you connect deeper with women and have more and better sex. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss any valuable tip, make sure to click the subscribe button below. Many men think that masturbation is bad for them, unhealthy, but actually it all depends on how you do it. Because what happens is you can't perform, you've accumulated all of this stress, and then you masturbate to release the stress that built up from unsuccessful attempt to have sex. And it ends up being this negative spiral. But masturbation doesn't have to be bad for you. It can actually be very healthy if you do it right. Also, some men tell me, I don't have time for masturbation. I don't really like it. It's not the same as being with a woman. And all of this is true. But what you'll discover today is that there are some very unique benefits to the practice of masturbation if done right. And hopefully, this will inspire you to actually masturbate more. So let me show you exactly how to do it. First, don't masturbate to porn. Most men need porn to masturbate because they need that strong visual stimulation. Now, this video is not about the negative aspects of using porn. You can check my channel where there are videos on the topic. But something you need to know here is this. When you rely on porn, it actually steals your confidence, making the problem of ED even worse. Also, it takes you out of your body. And one of the problems that causes performance issues in bed is actually being disconnected from your body, not knowing where your body is because you don't feel it. Another reason is that the way your woman actually looks, the way she moves and how she sounds compared to porn is not going to be stimulating enough. So when you watch porn, you may not have any problem getting an erection, but then when you're with your partner, you're too desensitized. What you see in real life simply isn't exciting enough to arouse you and give you an erection. Now, because I understand that it may feel impossible to masturbate without porn, here's a little trick I'll give you. I want you to look at this practice as a way to connect to your body. So we don't want anything that takes you out of your body. But if you really struggle to just get aroused through your own touch and from within, what you can do is you can play some fantasies in your mind. Or you can imagine having sex with someone you really desire. Maybe even a woman that you're not with, but that you would really love to have sex with. So you can play all of these fantasies in your mind. See, the crazy thing is that the human brain actually doesn't see the difference between a real experience, what it sees on TV, and what you imagine in your mind, as long as you make it intense enough and vivid enough. Your brain actually thinks it's the same. And so you can totally use your own imagination to give yourself visual stimulation. And maybe at first it won't be as intense, but you'll find that it's enough to get aroused. Next, a few tips to calm anxiety, because anxiety is what causes ED. You know, the fear, the worry, the pressure. And what you don't realize is that some things you automatically do during sex or masturbation only increase that anxiety. So I'm sure you're familiar with how our physiology impacts how we feel, our emotions, and our confidence. And you probably know that, for example, when we're stressed, we tend to tense our shoulders, our jaw, or our belly. And if you want to be more relaxed, we can actually work with the physiology by, for example, relaxing those muscles. And so there are certain things you can also do to change your physiology while being aroused, either during sex or masturbation, that will ease the anxiety. And this is where masturbation comes in. Because when you're with a partner, you don't have all the control over what happens. I mean, there's another person stimulating you more and more. You know, there are some expectations from her side. But masturbation allows you to practice these things without worrying that you're going to disappoint or upset anyone because there's no one else there. So you get to practice these things and train your body to do them. And this is why masturbation is such a powerful tool. It offers you a place to practice that sex with a partner simply doesn't. Now, if you're realizing that anxiety and stress are at the root of your ED, and you want to learn exactly how to rewire your body and mind to perform with confidence, then click the link in the description to see how I can help you achieve this. So now, here are the specific things I want you to practice during masturbation to lower your anxiety. Number 1, work with your breath. When you feel arousal build up, notice how you may want to shorten your breath or even hold it. This is something you do to push yourself to come. But this is exactly what causes stress in your body at the physiological level. So you want to do the opposite. You want to start bringing awareness to where your body is tense and relax it. Some of the muscles you'll most likely be tensing are your belly, your buttocks, and your thighs, maybe even your jaw and your shoulders. So focus on these muscles. But you can also practice just scanning your body for any other muscles that could be tense. And you just try to relax them and see how it feels. But especially focus on your buttocks, your belly, and your inner thighs. You'll see that these muscles, if you relax them, the difference is the most visible. Now, when you do that, you actually may lose your erection. But let me explain what's happening. We tense these muscles because they push the blood into the genital area, into your penis. So that's not a bad thing. The problem is that if you struggle with ED, it means your nervous system goes into stress modes. It gets activated too fast. It gets activated in moments when it shouldn't. When you're having sex, you should be enjoying it. It should feel good. It shouldn't be a cause of tension and stress. So what happens is that your muscles get too tense. Now, you want some tension in them. You want engagement of the muscles. And this is why I talk often on this channel about the importance of strengthening your sex muscles, because you want strong muscles, not tense muscles. When these muscles are tense and you hold the tension for too long, they actually increase the reaction of your nervous system, fight or flight. And it causes the anxiety that eventually causes your sexual performance issues. Number 2, slow down. Now, this is a big one because usually there's a specific pattern around masturbation, which is to go fast. Now, if you feel tension or frustration in your body and you want to release it, then of course you're looking for that release to come as soon as possible. But also, men are used to masturbating really fast because if you think about how you started, it was usually in secrecy and you wanted to come fast enough so no one would walk in on you. So this pattern is still very much alive for most men. You know, this idea that I need to jerk off fast. But when you do this, there's a lot of pressure to finish fast just by default. You're tensing your body. Now, if you think about it, when you're in threat, in fight or flight, it's all about acting fast. So your whole physiology gets really ready for that. So again, if you speed things up, if you move really fast, you're creating stress in your body, even if it wasn't there. So one of the best ways to calm your body and let go of anxiety that causes ED and any performance issues with that is to slow down. And when you do, it opens you to the next possibility, which is number 3, and that's to explore. This is more of a mindset shift than any specific thing you do. So when you're having sex, you're thinking about your partner, about pleasing her, about satisfying her. And so a lot of your focus is on another person and doing something right. But here, because you're by yourself and it's about you, it's solo time, I want you to try to let go of the need to do anything right. There's no right or wrong. There's no specific goal. There's no specific outcome. There's no one you need to please. Instead, focus on the process of just exploring. So something that can help you make this mindset shift is, for example, thinking, I'm going to find 5 new spots on my body that I really enjoy when I touch. Or I want to challenge myself to feel pleasure from touching other parts of my body than my genitals. You're exploring your whole body. You're trying to find something new. You're playing with experiences and sensations that maybe don't necessarily feel as good at first, but you're just curious about that. Look, you may try and realize you're totally into this. Now, you may also try something and realize that you don't like it. But it's about being open-minded and just exploring. It's about breaking the pattern of always doing the same things. If you think about how you masturbate, there's probably a specific flow. There are very few specific things, 1, 2, 3, 4, that you do, and then you come. I want you to break that. I want you to create a whole different experience where you don't follow these steps. It's a little bit like being in a foreign city and wanting to go to a certain monument and using Google Maps to tell you the fastest way to get there. I want you to forget Google Maps. In fact, forget the monument. Just walk around the city and explore what else is there. Number 4, touch more than your genitals. So if your goal is to explore, if your goal is to take time and also release the pressure that you have to perform to be hard, then touching your whole body is such a great way to do this. Your whole body is one big erogenous zone. We are whole sexual beings. It's not like just your genitals are sexual. It's just that it feels way more intense when we touch the genitals. But your whole body feels really, really good. Just think about it. I'm sure there are certain places on your body that you love when your woman touches, when she plays with them. So this is your chance to give yourself all of this pleasure. Again, if you want to explore, it really requires the whole body. And I want you to explore your whole body. That expands your sensations, yes, but here's an interesting thing. It actually also releases the pressure that builds up naturally in your genitals when you get aroused. Again, remember, when we talk about ED or any performance issues, it comes down to the fact that your nervous system enters the stress response, fight or flight. And this is where you lose control over your body. So we want to help you regain it. And you get control over your body when you can stay calm. In fact, think of it this way. If you imagine finding yourself in a very stressful situation, a person who gets very stressed cannot react or respond properly. They don't have the ability to respond well, and often they make the wrong move. The people who can handle stressful situations are those who remain composed. Now, why can they stay composed? Because they don't actually respond with a fight or flight reaction. Their nervous system remains calm. So that's what we want to do for you with masturbation practice. When arousal builds, and you have to remember, arousal in a way is a stress response, your heart rate goes up, your breath shortens, and all of this. So if you allow that to increase the stress response in your body, you lose control over your erection and ejaculation. But if you can stay calm, that's when you build your control and your confidence. And you get to perform as long as you want and keep an erection for as long as you want. So this is all we're doing here. When you engage the whole body, you actually spread out the tension from the genitals. You're spreading that arousal, that sexual energy into the rest of your body, which releases the tension and pressure from your genitals. This also helps because it teaches your mind that you can experience pleasure from your whole body. And when you realize you don't really need your genitals to feel pleasure, and you can even have an orgasm, because yes, you could have a full body energy orgasm that doesn't require you even touch your genitals, then you stop putting so much pressure on your penis to be erect to feel pleasure. Because you're not fully dependent on your penis anymore. And when you remove that pressure, you'll see that it will be easier to get an erection. Okay, number 5, practice edging. Masturbation is a great opportunity to practice edging, which basically means this. You build your arousal, and when you're getting close to coming, then you stop. And you can literally just pause altogether and stop touching, stop moving. You allow the energy to drop down. And then again, you start masturbating, you start touching yourself, the energy goes up, and again, when you get close, you stop. You want to repeat this around 3 times. This is a great practice to help you last longer and to help you keep a stronger erection. The way it works is that you're kind of pumping more and more blood, which also means that when you do have an orgasm, it's much more powerful. But it also conditions your mind to associate arousal with a state of relaxation. Because again, as this whole video is about, we want to help you stay aroused without going into fight or flight response. And finally, here's a little tip straight from Tantra. And it's very simple, but it is so beautiful. So, when you're done, and look, first of all, you don't have to necessarily come. Maybe you ejaculate, maybe you don't. So don't judge the experience by that finish line. But when you feel like you're done, either because you feel like it's been enough, you're tired, you want to rest, you have something else to do, or you came, what I want you to do is place one of your hands and cup your genitals. And then place your other palm on your chest, on your heart space, your heart chakra, which is in the middle of your chest between your nipples. And I want you to lie down like this for 5 to 10 minutes with your eyes closed. If you have some nice music, it's really lovely to lie down with it. And you're simply being with yourself. You're linking your sex center with your heart chakra. You're linking your sexuality with love. It is such a beautiful practice that helps you develop self-acceptance, self-love, like falling in love with yourself. And especially if you struggle with ED or any other performance issues, there's so much shame. There's even self-hatred. There may be embarrassment or disgust towards yourself. And in that little moment, when you cup your genitals and your heart at the same time, you're actually helping to release those negative thoughts and emotions and really develop love for yourself. So, there you have it. Masturbation can absolutely help solve ED, but only if you do it the right way. Don't use porn. Calm your anxiety, slow down and explore. Touch your whole body. Practice edging and finish with that beautiful tantric practice. Now look, these practices work. But if you want to master yourself, if you want guidance on how to overcome ED and rewire your body and mind for confidence, rock hard erections, and more, then click the link in the description for something extra.